Hello, welcome to Vineyard VIPs. I'm Ciro Pirone from Beverage, and today we have the absolute pleasure to have a great friend here in the market from Piemonte, more specifically than that from Barolo, Claudio Viberti.
Ciao Ciro.
Claudio, benvenuto.
Grazie mille.
So we have a few questions for Claudio as we have this opportunity to have him here. The first question I really have for you is, Claudio, you're a producer of Barolo, but you also produce a fantastic Barbera, specifically Barbera d'Alba. In the market, sometimes there's questions, Barbera d'Alba versus Asti. Generally speaking, Asti seems to be the one that people talk most about it. What's your take and what are the main point of differences between the two?
Yeah, the Barbera d'Alba appellation is actually the south appellation of Barbera. So generally it's the same area where we grow also Nebbiolo for the Barolo. Let's say is considered one of the more prestigious appellations versus the Asti that is up north in Piemonte and is a much larger appellation, and is generally an area where they tend to produce more younger style Barbera. Yeah, we dedicate a lot on Barbera, especially in the past 7-8 years. My family committed to the Barbera grapes, especially because we were seeing in the Barolo area more Nebbiolo vineyards plantation, and most of the good Barbera vineyards were, replaced with the Nebbiolo. So we decided to, to plant more Barbera and commit ourselves on making, what nowadays is our Barbera d'Alba La Gemella.
That's great, fantastic. But now we get into the really where your heart and soul is, Barolo, and also specifically this Barolo Buonpadre, it's your flagship wine. So just tell us and our viewers here in Boston and Massachusetts in general a little bit more about the history of Buonpadre and the history of your family and how it all began and the amount of time we have.
The Barolo Buonpadre is our flagship wine. It's a Barolo that I was saying two words, Classico and Tradizionale. Classico means in the Barolo area a cuvée of different vineyards. Barolo is very fragmented area. There is many parcels all over the region, and most of the time winemakers decide also to go through the single vineyards winemaking. The history of Barolo was always a blend of different vineyards, 100% Nebbiolo, but grow in different fields. Tradizionale means traditional, means aging that is mostly in big wooden barrel. We don't use any light barrique, we don't use any toasted oak, but the big size and the fact that we use the steamed oak barrel always give flavor that are more pure, bright, and very classic in the nose.
Yeah, yes.
The name Buonpadre, that maybe was your real question, is the name of a restaurant in Barolo because our family, Viberti, started to make this wine in the 1923 to supply the family restaurant. So it was actually the house wine for the restaurant that is still nowadays run directly and operated by our family. I
can attest to that. I've been there. Food was fantastic. We had a 1979 Buonpadre at the time, although I wished for 1976, it was my birth year. But that being said, the last question I have is Nebbiolo. So Nebbiolo it's a multifaceted varietal. In Barolo, as you said, it can be largely Barolo is a blend of different Nebbiolo from different parcels. Now you're developing the single vineyard concept, or you have for a long time, as many other great producers. Which ones are your single vineyards, and if you can just give me one quick adjective, what differentiates one to the other? So
we'll try to mention within all our single vineyards production the La Volta. La Volta is the name of a castle that overlooks the village of Barolo and is a pretty high altitude vineyards with a limestone soil where the grapes tend to ripe quicker than the other vineyards, and thanks to the altitude we can easily preserve a nice acidity that gives them the lively feeling, but at the same time a nice evolved nose due to the limestone soil. The single vineyards is not produced for the Viberti wines every vintage, as long as most of the grapes they going to produce the Barolo Buonpadre, but in the very top one, or better what we consider as a brand Viberti a great vintage, we also produce the single bottling that are only released as a reserve wine. So 5 years aging versus the 4 of the Buonpadre. So the La Volta is definitely my suggestion within our single vineyards production.
That's great. Well, I want to thank you all for watching once again, and Claudio, it was a pleasure to have you again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody. Alla prossima.
Ciao, salute.